My name's Garrett Compton, and in this course, I learned a couple things. I learned to look at movies differently, and what I mean by that is movies as a whole, whether they have African American, black um, characters or trans characters. I have learned to have a greater appreciation for the movies, specifically the ones with the black actors. I noticed that, as doing the course, majority of the movies that I've watched have always followed the stereotype of having the black character either be a dumb character who doesn't have any depth at all and just kind of stands in the background, uh, whether or not he's a comedic character or just one that kind of pushes the plot forward, but in no significant ways. I also noticed that a lot of them have the black character be a brute and just kind of use their physical attributes um, to advance the story forward, which is not good. Now, not all movies that I've seen uh, do this. Black Panther is a good example, considering that the main character is black and most of the actors in the movie are black. It gives a good representation to the black culture and community. But I have also noticed that while that movie is a good one, there are a lot of bad ones too. As far as the trans goes too, I have noticed that there has been a misrepresentation going towards trans people in the fact that when they are portrayed in these movies, and whether or not it's intentional or not, they're seen as a mistake and not kind of given the grace that they deserve, and not kind of just seen as regular human beings. They're seen as a kind of bad thing, and that's not how it should be. Um, a lot of, and we did it in this class where we did an assignment on uh, pieces of media that focused on the good representations, and one of them was Euphoria. And in Euphoria, I forget the name of the character, but she is a central part of the story, and she is trans, and so it shows a good representation of um, what it's like to be trans, and it's not seen as a problem or a bad thing. She is accepted by all the characters, and yes, I did. I watched some of the show, and she was accepted by the majority of the characters and just treated like a normal human being. In a lot of movies, this isn't the case either. Um, Another thing that I learned in this class was the Latino stereotypes. A lot of the movies that I have seen treat the Latino character as a sexual object and highly sexualize Latino men. Um, a good example of this is How to Be a Latin Lover. It's literally in the title, where the Latino man is just seen as a lover, and nothing more. Um, so this is another thing I learned in the class was that um, they're also seen as like bandits and kind of criminals in a way, as seen in the movie Scarface. Scarface is a good one, because most of the Latinos portrayed in that movie are gangsters and drug dealers, and so it kind of shows that they're part of like the mafia and stuff. And that's a lot of movies with Latino men, is that they're seen as just gangsters and nothing more. As far as the women go, they're seen also as sexual objects and just treated as such. Same with a lot of black women in movies. A lot of black women in movies are seen as just an object and something for the males to kind of chase and not really um, validate their emotions or um, give them the kind of praise that they deserve, um, which is a problem. So a lot of the central theme in this class was how all these movies misrepresent these cultures and misrepresent the characters in a negative light, which should not be done. If you're going to make a movie, you should um, portray them as respectfully and close to how they actually are, if you're going to do it. And like I said, a lot of movies do this very well. For the black community, Black Panther does it very well. Um, a lot of there's other movies too. Creed does it very well. Um, One could say that Adonis Creed can be seen as a brute, but um, while watching the movie, you see the emotional depth within him. You see the type of man he is and how he's caring, compassionate, loving, all of the things that are necessary. Um, and one of the last things I learned in the class was the stereotype of a man. Um, One of the things that was said was in media, particularly, a man is supposed to be strong. Um, they're supposed to not show emotions. They're supposed to be able to take care of everybody and not fall apart. And that is a false reality. Um, in my own life, I have fallen apart quite a bit. Um, it doesn't make me any less of a man. I'm still strong. I'm still an emotional rock at times, but at times I also can break down and not be that emotional rock. And in movies, particularly for men, it shows us that we have to be that emotional rock and we have to suppress our emotions and not show anything, which is very unhealthy. And there are plenty of movies that show this. Um, and it's just a stereotype that we need to get away from. One of the examples is um, Batman. In the Batman movies, in multiple forms of media, Batman is a very stoic character. He doesn't show emotion a lot. He actually suppresses it, puts on a false persona of a playboy who just wants to do anything. And then when he's in the Batman persona, he's just all business, no emotions. And growing up, that was definitely Batman was somebody I looked up to, and it's a false persona that should not probably be followed by the younger generation, even though it typically is. At times, he would show emotion, but not often. Um, and there's plenty of other superheroes that counter this trope, but that was one of the main takeaways from this class was um, the standard of a male, because that is something I definitely feel in my own life and am trying my best not to replicate. So it was a very fun class. I definitely enjoyed taking it. I would recommend anybody take this. That way they can learn a little bit more about the movie industry and how they kind of take and um, not give the best representation to these cultures. Thank you.